Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane, Master Propaganda Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to a 1 vs 1 on Khan. A very much requested replay, so keep that in mind. This is one of the reasons I'm casting this one, because a lot of people requested I did it. And so north we got here VonIvan, fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany. Deutschland, the Hamengering Fallschirm Panzerdivision versus in the south we got ImperialDane, fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, taking on the role here of the 2nd Guards Tank Corps. We'll be looking at Spec Ops, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, and Breakthrough versus Advanced Warfare, Third Reserve Army, and Guard Rifle Combined Arms Tactics with Infantry versus Infantry Half-Track and Mine Bulletins. A double conscript start here from me, since I, rather like conscript heavy builds, allows me to get out broad, and sort of that way sort of just push ahead into some reconnaissance at the same time. And certainly on a larger map like Khan, it is also more feasible to go for a more conscript build versus the Oberkommando West. VonIvan here going for a Sturm Pioneer, Kugelwagen full scale start here. No sign of Doctrine for him though, and so far I'm just sort of spreading out here, going ahead very broadly to that way, so try and get an idea there of what VonIvan is aiming at. Also in this case to look for any weak spots, so that way I can sort of break through them and sort of begin hitting his soft spots right away. So that is also very important. We got a 3rd conscript on the way there for me. First squatting and first engagement going to be hitting right about here. There we go. Setting up right behind the tree stump. I was called out in the open here. Does VonIvan close in? No, he actually tried to grab the centre victory point, allowing the conscript to get several free hits in. There we go. Ludwig quickly goes down in the face of most elegant rifle fire. Nice shooting, Yuri. I did it. Shut up, Petrov. So there you go. Sturmpan is pushed back there. He's not going to push in with only 3 men left. Grabbing the eastern victory point, grabbing the northern fuel point, everything he needs. 3rd conscript squad arriving there, and we also got Samex down here to help defend the centre victory point. VonIvan there with another full squad moving down the east. So he's first now going for the fuel. He's sort of again trying to sort of push for the centre, and also push from the north here. Very interesting sort of opening there from VonIvan. But again, also not too focused. Meanwhile, securing points here, securing points there. Again, sort of very broad approach. And with this, I sort of get all the resources here connected for me. 4th conscript on the way there. So far, I'm just sort of swarming ahead here like a red tide, flooding the map in socialism. Now the engagement of engineers versus Kugelwagen. Conscript moving up here from the south. We got forces nearby as well, threatening here the Kugelwagen. Also pushing in here towards his points there, and going for the fuel point here in the south. There's some sandbags as well. So in that regard, I'm hitting for now, and all of a sudden from several points here. We can see the Kugelwagen there quickly being pushed back, and the north forces they're just standing about, not doing anything. Almost got the point here. He's got the CoH point there in the same time. They're not moving towards the fuel. With the 4th conscript there, I mean, there goes. Shots fired, Sturm Punch as a conscript falling towards cover. And there goes, going to try and sort of get an advantage here versus that conscript by flanking with a full grenadier squad, which allows me to grab the fuel point here rather safely with absolutely no issues. Up north, point being secured there, full squad still forgotten by VonIvan. But there you go, conscripts there being pushed back. Here's simply too much firepower, and I figure at no point actually fighting this engagement is just going to be a waste of manpower. I've already sort of done what I want, which is just deny him this fuel point right easily. Right here, another engagement, full versus conscripts, pulling up behind an old broken tree. The Fultons are out in the open. The conscripts are not, so they actually gain the cover advantage here versus the Fultons, meaning they're actually going to win this engagement. VonIvan realizes this pretty fast and retreats. At the same time, going for Luftwaffe ground forces, securing points here, mines on the victory point there, and further on, just sneaking conscript up behind again. I sort of want to keep him running around, sort of trying to catch up with me. So instead of trying to fight around here, I'm just going to push up here, get behind, begin hitting all of his other points that way. Conscript again doing the same thing, just sneaking up behind VonIvan. Again, an important thing to sort of try and keep in mind is so sometimes you do not want to actually engage the enemy. I mean, a lot of players just sort of, hammer away, but sometimes that is not the best approach there. You sort of look for the other approach, which is just you try and infiltrate, you're trying to outmaneuver your opponents sort of more directly. That might actually be what you call the deep battle doctrine. I'm less sure about that one. I need to read a bit more up on it, but might be roughly it. Anyways, it's certainly part of the, so it's again not necessarily always engaging, but just trying to sort of hit them where they weren't, forcing them to right away rapture the Soviets' movements, and thusly also more favourable positions for the Soviets. Right here retreating, but again, all of a sudden I'm just sort of forcing for them to just further pull away from the front line, further leaving that more up to me. So again, even I'm just actually doing a lot of manpower damage, I'm sort of in terms of map, I'm actually, again, forcing them to further retract. And just allowing me to secure a lot of the map and also just keep it more safe. So that way I'm just pulling ahead with a resource advantage here off VonIvan and the Hamengering. Sandbags down there on this fuel point. Support them company up here. In fact, I can immediately move ahead for the tank command because again I've just had such a resource lead over VonIvan. Massive one. You got tech up here for VonIvan soon enough. You can go for the battle group headquarters, you can go for the mechanized. Battle group or mechanized rating will certainly be my bigger threat, but at the same time, not so much because, well, I've been able to deny him a lot of fuel. So in that regard, I'm not too worried about that, in fact. But he does go here for the battle group headquarters. Going here for the southern point. We've got the conscript coming in there. Stuart Pioneers there taking fire. As the Manos and that guns sign off there. Kubelwagen there blasting away with this MD-34 there. Forces need to up support here, but so far they're not. Quick engagement here. Conscript up to do here with the Stuart Pioneers up close, a bit ugly here. In this case, I'm just pressing my lightning because I'm realizing the Stuart Pioneer is actually low on health, and my conscript up close actually doing a lot of damage. In fact, in this case, he's close to being wiped here, and there we go. Stuart Pioneer squad wiped. And follow up with a quick retreat here. So, well, of course, certainly suffered some losses here. I was actually able to just completely wipe one of the squads, meaning he's got even less now to control the map with. And there you go. Big push here. 2 conscript squads, 2 engineer squads. A lot of infantry pushing across the broken ground, the ruins, the craters. Hoorah! Where's the sergeant? I think he ran the other way. Half-tech following up to support my infantry. I mean, again, we've got a lot of infantry. A half-tech is a great way to support and keep pushing. I mean, I do a lot with the Wehrmacht, obviously I'd say a lot there, but even for the Soviets, a half-tech can be a pretty good thing. So right here, we've got the conscripts there being held up by the Volksgruppe side of the house here. In this case, I'm just going to keep blasting because, well, again, I got so much map. He's not going to, at the same time, draw away too many forces because he's going to be afraid what happens once this breaks through, which it inevitably will. But, of course, once you get the half-tech up, he can just swiftly push ahead as well anyways, with a more concerted effort. Guards, rifle here on the way because, well, I like hit the dirt, I like submachine guns, and I also like guardsmen. I mean, they've been sort of been eclipsed by the penal troops, but the thing is, the guardsmen are still very good. They are still very, very good, and there's not really a logical reason for them not being used as much as they are. But there you go, half-tech up support here, the M5. So pushing ahead here, flamethrower as well to deny VonIvan here use of cover. So big mechanized infantry assault here, pushing against VonIvan. Again, his forces are very much scattered. He's going for a Kedem up top to help deal with the half-tech here as he just pushes forwards. Oh, flamed it all the way over there. He's doing a bit of harassment up north here, forces with assault rifle, but they are very much on their own, which is something he needs to be careful in particular since we've got a bunch of conscripts moving up with PPSH-41s, submachine guns. Fun fact, as the sort of war progressed, the Soviet army would increasingly sort of just increase the number of submachine guns available to the infantry units to the point where by like 1944-45, about all of the sort of infantry weapons in a sort of Soviet unit would have been submachine guns. So grabbing points here, laying down mines there. Overall still keeping VonIvan on the back foot. He needs something to help keep all this infantry on the check. He needs machine guns, or I suppose if he's crazy enough, he could go for the flat half track. Kubelwagen Stuart moving down there, and he's got minesweepers up already. He's certainly not taking any chances with me. Very wise choice there by VonIvan. And the Helmand Göring. We got the half track there blasting forwards, getting supported here by flamethrower engineers, conscripts, and other regular engineers. Calling up guardsmen here just in case he does pull up some kind of, you know, Luke's play, in which case I would otherwise be quite vulnerable. So quickly calling up the guardsmen here. Just because your opponent can't go for it right away, you might still do it later on, in which case you'll be in trouble. In this case, rushing forwards here. In this case, in fact, a bit too forwards, maybe even. Kedem for setting up then, did not expect it there, so good move there. Take it right on the half track, going to get Panzerfaust as well. Got to try and rush here the Kedem for. Engineers popping out as well. At the same time, we got flying around here. Conscript squad wiped out. Too much going on there for me, and I lost control. And there you go, the half track goes down as well here. VonIvan delivering a few harsh blows to me as I got a bit too confident there, but I wiped the Kedem and steal it away there. So of course you have to question yourself, was that really worth it? That's a very good question. Voltage moving down there. VonIvan turning instructing still. He can call in some Fallschirmjägers now that there's not really a lot of position calling from nearby. You got a guard squad moving up. It's taking fire from the Fallschirmjäger, pushing up here, climbing the stairs into a ruined apartment and lobbing a grenade here. In fact, you can't really actually see this happening very much in this, but there you go. Quick grenade there, and landing on the Volksgruppe, pushing them back, getting quite a few kills. So Fallschirmjäger's dealing here with some troops down south. Almost got the Kedem for that, but the Kedem does escape here. The grasp of these elite Fallschirmjäger soldiers. And there you go, flare trip mine, as I like to just alter scatter across the map, went off there. And there you got at the same time conscripts flanking about here, wiping out the Kubelwagen. Again, as the Soviets, one of your favourite tools should always be just to try and flank the other bastard. And particularly got submachine guns, flanking is great. So right here we got Fallschirmjäger pushed back there by, or for VonIvan, not by VonIvan, they're being pushed back against him. Grabbing points here, mines going down there again. Securing points as well. But again, if you can, I mean, just scattering tripwire flares across the map there is actually a pretty cost-efficient manner of just really irritating your opponent. Laying down sandbags here, tries to up for defense here. But there you go, we already got VonIvan tagging down there. Guardsmen slightly shift positioning, noting no light machine guns for them yet. Troops healing and forcing is actually going for the flat calf tractor. That way, try and deal with my infantry. Back here, reinforcement going on, noting I have not gone for any field infirmaries as of yet. Also, these conscripts are in a pretty poor condition, might as well retreat them, and I really need a field infirmary at this point to just get them healed. Falchi Megas reinforcing them, and obviously another thing for that, actually you can't, I mean that's one of the things about Khan, you can't actually just sort of shift towards another half of the map because again these two sort of core points here, that's actually one thing I wish they'd fix about Khan, because in ours it's a great map, but these two core points are not very well designed. They're sort of just really bad design actually on this map, really bad design, because they really just lock you into half of a map, and again they make it a lot harder for you just to push elsewhere to actually gain resources. In this case, the farm is just hitting the victory points just to try and slow down the bleed that I've got going against him. Certainly very wise there. Slightly falling back here as well, as I'm expecting some kind of large assault, realizing my forces can't withstand that. I just pull back towards more defensive positions, a bit more scattered about while repositioning. And also right here for now, I'm calling in some air reconnaissance, so that we try and spot out my positions, you know, figure out, well, what is staying up to. Very solid choice there, very good idea. Constant moving ahead here. And go quick one hand grenade, pretty much cancelling my hit the dirt there. There you go, constant moving in there, gunning them down. And sure enough, he's not hitting the cough bomb there, despite knowing there's absolutely nothing within reach there. But he might have been more preoccupied with that. Going points here, denying them to me as well in the process. At the same time as all this is happening, I'm taking up here. I'm going for the Mechanized Armor Campanea. There we go, conscript being flanked by full Scandinavians and VonIvan pushing in towards there. We got the flak after they're denying the access to the cough bomb there. Turning into the Guardsman, collapsing a nearby already rather ruined apartment block there. So now VonIvan is striking back here. The flat calf tank, in fact, giving quite a bit of firepower here in these quarters against my infantry. So flat calf tank would be a pretty good choice. It could have maybe gone for one sooner, maybe gone for some MD-34s. They could also help a bit either way. Sweeping out mines again. Engineers just continue to harass behind his lines. Again, the idea of just forcing him to further pull away from the front line just to have to deal with the harassment going on behind his back. Academy for creeping ahead here. Falchi Graham, the northern point back here, Guardsman forcing. I have still not gone for a field infirmary. That is still a bad idea by me. And there you go, Falchi there being pushed back by conscript supported by a single engineer squad, depleted. Academy for trying to creep ahead here to get the flat calf track. In this case, Sergei decides to fire ahead of everybody else and basically give the entire unit away, the idiot. But there you go, conscript supported here by the T-34 6. Second Guards tank core now got its tanks rolling, and there you go, pushing ahead here, catching the Falcon is a very bad spot, and going straight here to try and catch the flat calf tank, but at the same time knowing he might of course have another Academy effort, I'm going to be a bit careful with my T-34, not push it too far ahead either, I think. Falcon is here, sort of been engaged in the west there, again for now much better grasp on the map, much more successfully pushing me back, as he now sort of brought up more firepower. It's only also implementing some hurts there, so he's suddenly beginning to do a lot better. Again, the initial bad days there's sort of been reversed to an extent, but the problem is, again, the initial advantage is now something I'm going to turn into sort of a more mid-game edge. Again, thanks to being able to rush out tanks. I mean, that's basically how you use the conscripts. So, I mean, I hear a lot of people saying that they should be buffed and they should be better in the late game, but the thing is, you know, by the late game, you're supposed to be taking the initial advantage you got again with the conscript usually great to then put in for an arm advantage. That was sort of just trying to stay competitive that way. Conscripts there being shredded, they're out in the by Volksgestern Pioneers, pushed back there quickly. T-34 rolling about, flares going down there as well, further harming his Fallschirmjägers. And his flat calf tank also waiting repairs. Second Academy for there again. He's seen the T-34. He knows he's going to need a lot more rockets to stop that one. We can see trying to gap points, clearing out mines. Again, I've just consistently been laying down mines everywhere. Again, I just want to harass him, make it as difficult for him to go anywhere as difficult as possible. Flat calf tax still repairs, Falchi reinforcing. Still no field infirmary by me. That's still a mistake. Grabbing the victory point here in the west. Got the T-34 there moving ahead for the motherland. with another one on the way. Again, VonIvan has yet been able to take beyond this, but I've already got 2 T-34s out. Guards are dealing with the Fultz Grenadiers. The assault ravages, and they have light machines. Then again, the incendiary grenade that was well thrown didn't get out and reach there. So in this case, the guardsmen are pushed back. Good work there for VonIvan. Fights make a tank towards the center where a single engineer squad is left to fend for themselves. And there you go. Guards or conscripts like Kednev and T-34 pushing ahead here towards the eastern fuel point again. Charging forwards recklessly. In this case, I'm just blasting it in case he's got a Kednev, in which case, you know, I can maybe dodge some of them and get behind them before it's too late. But he's actually got both of the Kednevers there, so it ends up doing nothing for me. Flak half tech still awaiting repairs. T-34's moving out there. And there you go, Kednev's going after the T-34. Quickly dodging out of that one. Got a big infantry push here from VonIvan. Pushing ahead there, like Kednev supporting just to keep that T-34 a bit more honest. Like Kednev are being caught in a bad position, need to retreat. Up north here we got Fultz being dealt with there by conscripts. Large push here from me. Quickly surrounding them, and looks like a wipe here. And gets away. Fudgemakers in a bit of trouble there with the T-34. Push back as well. Pushing through in the south here. Past the... well, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's certainly not looking good. T-34 engaging Sturmpanzer. Needs to get the Kednev up fast. Conscripts holding up there just to keep trying denying fuel. Troops are reinforcing healing. Flak half tech still not seeing repairs. We can see VonIvan there going for a third at Kednev because he doesn't really have a lot of options otherwise towards dealing with all these T-34s for the moment. So bringing up a Kednev is, well, his best choice. The only unfortunate thing for him is, again, he's not been able to repair his flak half track, so at least that way he can get something to further even the odds with my infantry with. I mean, that regard, it sort of ends up being a drain of resources and fuel. So quick incendiary grenade there, now the half track following up from me. There you go, T-34 straight into like Kednev here. More Kednev's folks are moving down like Kednev, retreating in the face of the 2 T-34s. Up north here, constantly being dealt with by the Fudgemaker, supported by Fultz Grenadiers. Quick exchange of bullets and death. There we go, finally getting to work down the flak half track. I'm getting out another regular half track. Fultz moving up, they're going to Panzer first there. And there we go. Panzerfaust delivering a hit there to the T-34-76. Kednev following up. There you go, good hit on the T-34-76 for conscript out there with the easy targets. But there you go, Garsman heroically charging forwards. Another T-34 hit there though. Both T-34s quite damaged with a quick retreat there. Third, Kednev not quite fast enough. And there you go, flak half track finally got to again. While in the north, more pressure there versus me. After arriving, entering force at the front line. While getting to work on the T-34s. And there we go, the 251-79 again. Apparently they were lacking the spare parts, which actually was an issue for the Germans as well, just getting spare parts out to the front line, particularly during Operation Barbarossa. There were severe issues with spare parts, partly again just logistical issues, but also just because they didn't produce enough. But also in some cases because the wear and tear on the German panzers, for example, was much higher than actually anticipated. There you go, half-tick fill up with conscripts and guardsmen, a quick mechanized infantry rush. Ooh, look at these North seat belts! In this case, they'll make a bit of a mistake, them rushing forwards in the conscripts there, trying to clear out the half. The Kednevs then are charging in with the half-tech here, so trying to hit the Fudgemaker. This is actually overall not the most well-executed idea here, but I mean, in fact, I lose the conscript almost there. Garsman trying to do with the Fudgemaker, of course, given the Panzerfaust range, there's still another Kednev, but in fact, there's two. So right here, I make a bit mistake there, tactically there, with my half-tech a bit too confident here versus VonIvan, and VonIvan definitely punish me for my hubris. And there you go, in fact, almost lose the guard squad as well. So very good work there by VonIvan, though he's still, of course, under pressure here from 2 T-34s. Still getting that half-track and that infantry out of the way there certainly gave VonIvan a bit of breathing space. Chatting to the north as he's getting the fuel point here. Got the half-tracks here, we've got the Schwerpanzer, very much a slipper there with the Schwerpanzer at quarters, I imagine, prepared there for VonIvan. T-34s rolling back for repairs for the third T-34 on the way. Kednev for the Sturmpanzer heading southwards. Grabbing the centre victory point, and they're going towards the CoH2 and the likes here. Schwerpanzer quarters setting up, and there you go, calling air support just to deal with the Volkswagen squad there. I mean, generally the air support in this case is better versus just more separate targets. I mean, block up units, in fact, get, you know, bonuses against it, but sort of units out in the open are actually, or more separate units are actually very vulnerable to this. I actually use the unit ammunitions just to try and get a wipe in this veterancy-free Volkswagen squad, and in fact it ends up doing a lot of damage, which might in fact allow him to get the wipe here with the conscripts. So in that regard, I would say it's actually, you know, job well done. I mean, any wipe you can sort of generally score against your opponent will be worth it. Against veteran Volkswagen it is. There we go. Veteran 3 Volkswagen get wiped. Further just adding sort of a burden and pressure to him. But there you go. You can see now I'm actually losing a lot of ground, though in part it's because I'm also preparing here for the next big armoured swing. Still, for now much stronger again. He's infantry gaining veterancy, assault rifles. He's getting a lot more anti-tank. He's got the flak half-track. He's got tech now. He might eventually be able to get out some tanks versus me as well. So he's beginning to look a lot stronger here. He's beginning to look a lot stronger. And certainly this is also where things are going to get more challenging for me. The T-54 though rolling ahead. Another T-54 moving in. Quickly dispatching the German infantry in the south. The guards are finding out where the Volkswagen it is. Quickly there, taking an anti-tank rifle through his nose and dying up for him. There you go, Fatzmegas almost been locked here, but the two T-54s likely will be fully annihilated as they turn about to unleash the whole machine guns on them. There we go. Fatzmegas wiped out. Another big loss here for VonIvan. He's dealt some time off him before getting any armor out. He could try and rush a Yak Panzer, but on this map here, again, due to the sort of the closer quarters and not a lot of sort of really good scenes for a tank destroyer, he might be more sort of like to go for the Panzer IV. He could go for the Panther, but that could actually prove a bit too risky. But even the Panther IV is going to be a bit risky with all these tanks about. In this case, still, I can have sort of spotted here. I'm going to get a lot of tanks going in there, so once they sort of get realised there, I just close in because, again, closer quarters also mean the tanks can quickly get around them because, again, it's much harder for them to set off at a good distance, particularly without sufficient infantry. So right here again, no infantry for the Kenreffers makes them a lot easier targets for my tanks to get close to. One Kenreffer there goes down easily. We've got the flak half-track firing away. Second Kenreffer down as well. Pushing forwards here. Realising there's a Schwerpanzer in a few moments. There you go. Several penetrating hits on the T-34. But I proceed to actually open up here in the Schwerpanzer quarters, trying here to finish off here with my big armoured assault here. Forcing me down to kill the Kenreffer. And I realise I quickly have to get out of there. But the Schwerpanzer quarters knocks out one of my T-34s. He's very close to the Panther IV here, but not quite. Northern mission being secured by conscripts and grabbing the southern victory point. T-34 bouncing a few shots. We've got Volkswagen moving in there under cover of the Schwerpanzer quarters. Damaged engine. Not good. More guards from this will try and support the tanks. VonIvan now very, very close to be able to call in a Panzer IV here. If that is what he plans for, Kenreffer will be secured. And Volkswagen's walk their push back. So he's got two Kenreffers now, and I've got two Kenreffers as well. Center victory point be scored there with Volkswagen. He's down to 112 versus my 389. Certainly not the best element there for VonIvan. Guards moving ahead, more DP light machine guns on the way. Continuing up there to attack the centre. And Panzer IV there on the way for VonIvan and the Hammond Göring Fallschirm Panzer Division. Another T-34 on the way for me. And attacking up here with one of my T-34 straight to the Kenreffers there. Rather reckless assault there, so doesn't realise, didn't consider there might be what a Kenreffer's about. So just charge ahead here, taking a lot of needless damage. My T-34 son ends up with a damage engine in front of two Kenreffers. Unsurprisingly here, that was not a good move. And the T-34 go down a few moments here to the two Kenreffers, firing their 88mm rockets. And lastly, a T-34 there, blazing out of control, crashing into the ruins. There you go, rushing like Kenreffer, trying to at least take them out. And there you go, Panzer IV finding a way there for VonIvan. Panzerkampfwagen 4. Troops retreating in the face of the Russian infantry assault here. And we got the other T-34 moving northwards, and the other one arriving there as well. Fresh for frontline fighting. So flak half attack moving back in, not through repaired either, but looks like VonIvan realizes he can't really afford such luxuries as full repairs at the moment. As I certainly have no intention of letting up at this stage. Got the Panther 4 there attacking here against the conscript. Got moving up here to try and deal with the forces there while guardsmen and such keep the Panther 4 occupied at the centre. I just used the T-34 to very quickly force the engagement here to retreat, since the forces will not be able to last for much longer against two T-34s at the same time. That way you can then move to deal with the T-34. Right here though, the cannon runs into the flak half attack, takes critical damage. There's a 2 cm gun, tears into the exposed anti-tank gunners, and the Panther 4 quickly follows up here trying to get a wipe. T-34 charging forwards here, and like Kenworth gets wiped here by the Panther 4. Good work, but the Panther 4 does take several hits here from the T-34 76s. Shots miss or bounce here against the Panther 4. A Kenworth wipe there. Good choice by VonIvan. He's trying to flank him now. Kenworth, the problem is now exposed. While he does get in a few hits, it's very likely to get wiped in a few seconds as the conscripts push in with their PPSH-41 submachine guns. He's going to need some heavy repairs for the Panther 4 very fast. His Sturm pioneers are back at base reinforcing healing. He's pushing them down there. His flak attack, half attack is not looking good either. And there we go. Forces out the 2 T-34s, including 1 vet and 2. Gunning down the full grenadiers there as they push ahead. A few infantry units forgotten about here and there. There's so much going on about the centre now. Fixing up the Panther 4 there. We got a fighting squad hitting the southern victory point. 27 points left there for VonIvan. And there, got hitting the point. We're going to use what trying to delay them as a push ahead with the Guardsmen and roll down a tank down south to sort of further support there. VonIvan is certainly not giving up. He is a tenacious fighter. Engineers stay close, being wiped by the fighters. In fact, they go get wiped. Guardsmen pushing ahead here. But in this case, the 2 in poor condition tanks do much there and end up being an easy wipe for the fighter. In this case, I'm just feeding them experience until the T-34 arrives. But there you go, fighter makers push back here and quickly use the secure mode to grab the point here. Defend the northern point from the T-34 and my conscripts, just holding the line no matter the cost. But of course, also defend the centre victory point. We're down to 6 points here, 5 points, calling in air support here. And there we go, catching the full gunners with a nasty burst of 23mm cannon fire. And there you go. GG, game over. A brutal battle here against the Orbal Commandos as the Soviets, sort of highlighting again just the power of conscripts when utilised properly in the early game, and also just highlighting, no matter what sort of strengths, the Orbal Commandos have in the longer term, if you can sort of, play correctly against, sort of just build up your advantage fast, they sort of can't really leverage it too well. In this regard, though, VonIvan though made a few mistakes in the early game. Again, he was very aggressive, again, he was very spread out, which was actually that, what I was looking for to that way, exploit, just ignore his forces, in fact, and sort of hit them. And as the Orbal Commandos, you actually want to force your opponent to have to engage you. He didn't. And that basically gave me a big edge again. It would just keep harassing, keep on, just keep building up an edge there. That way, sort of didn't, when I got the edge, then sort of seek out the engagements with the advantage they had, and then sort of just, repeat that, sort of pull back, harass, build an edge, push ahead. So that was sort of the approach I did, that way just constantly hitting him and outmaneuvering him, that way just slowing him down and just preventing him from being able to being able to keep up the pace with me, to keep up tempo. So that was sort of the very important part of the strategy. Again, on a smaller map, this would not have worked because, again, on a smaller map, you can much more easily force the engagements with me, and that's kind of where we then have to go for penal troopers. That way, have an edge there. But otherwise, conscript squads on larger maps are actually very good because, again, you don't try to actually seek out engagements unless you absolutely have to fight them, or you can sort of just easily win them and just have an edge there. Otherwise, you just try to ignore, force them to have to keep running after you, and so on. What VonIvan should have done there instead, initially should have probably just tried to attack my vulnerable spots. Again, he should try to force me to attack him, to have, defend against his attacks. If he could have done that, I think VonIvan might have stood a better chance. Maybe a faster MG34 flak after could also have benefited VonIvan nicely. Again, that would help, keep my infantry down, and that way maybe give him some more chance of, again, holding the fights a bit more fairly. So, there you go again, as requested. Again, a lot of people are requesting this one to be casted, so hopefully you like this one. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This is ImperialDane signing off. See you all tomorrow for another signing episode. And of course, as always, if you like what I do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is ImperialDane saying cheers, and thank you all for watching. Bye.